So despite the 2-race nightmare at Red Bull Racing, Liam Lawson's confidence apparently is still intact. It hasn't taken a hit, and to be honest, given his performances at the Racing Bull since his return to the junior team, I'd say that's probably accurate. He's not exactly destroying Isaac Hadjar. I'd say Hadjar's probably marginally been better. I think he scored more points than him. Lawson's still without any points, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I'd say overall he's done all right, Lawson. You know, he's not really regressed that much. So, you know, his next goal is going to be to beat Isaac Hadjar. He's got to go do that because he did get a point, did Hadjar, at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And Lawson was 12th in the end. I think he got a penalty, didn't he? That 10-second penalty, and that really did not help him. But points win prizes, and if you don't get him, you don't win him. But anyway, let's have a look at what the Kiwi has said about his current driver situation, his seat situation at Red Bull, if you will. Full article on the F1Chronicle.com as always, guys. Liam Lawson insists his confidence is not in tatters after his experience at Red Bull. The team overlooked Yuki Tsunoda late last year to instead sign up Lawson for the 2025 season. But Lawson struggled so badly alongside Max Verstappen that he was swapped out for Tsunoda after just 2 races. Although a significant gap to Verstappen still exists, the team is happy with Tsunoda, and Dr. Helmut Marko says that the Japanese driver will remain in the car all season. I am happy with how I progressed in the last 2 races, Tsunoda said in Saudi Arabia. It has gone slightly better than I thought, probably. The confidence is there, not 100% perfect, but it is there. This, of course, coming just before he crashed out on the first lap of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Although, to be honest, having seen that incident, I would probably blame Pierre Gasly more for that one, trying to hang it around the outside when it was not on, unfortunately. But yeah, not too great there. Better in Bahrain, in Japan, though. Obviously got points in Bahrain, too. The first second seat Red Bull driver to do that this season. It is well known that the Racing Bull's car, Lawson's new C, is easier to drive, set up and manage the tyres, helping to rebuild the New Zealander's confidence after the Red Bull racing experience. However, the 23-year-old insists that his confidence did not even take a knock. If we're talking about confidence, nothing has changed since the start of the year, Lawson said. I wasn't at Red Bull Racing long enough to look back on my performance in 2 races and think that because of the car issues, I've forgotten how to drive. Nothing of the sort, he added. It was a very bad 2 weekends at Red Bull, say that again, and there was a lot of factors that contributed to that, but my confidence hasn't changed. I don't think I mentioned, guys, but I actually did meet Lawson a couple times back in his F2 days. Sound guy, you know, he seemed very confident for sure. I mean, to be fair, I think most of them are. I've not really met many racing drivers that I wouldn't say were confident. I feel like being confident in your own abilities is kind of a prerequisite. You have to be. And Lawson did strike me as that, so it's not a surprise really that he's bounced back and doing all right. He just needs to be challenging Hadjar a little bit more, but he's not far off him in fairness. Although Hadjar, you know, he's proven to be a very capable driver, and I'm glad to see that Tsunoda will be in the car for the remainder of the season. I mean, this is coming from Helmut Marko, who works for Red Bull, and Red Bull don't exactly, you know, as Drake, I always reference Drake and Josh with this, you know, I'm not calling you a liar, but you're not exactly a truther either, you know. I'm not really taking his word 100% on that. Like if Tsunoda has a really bad couple races and stuff, it can all change around very quickly. But for what it's worth, I do see that happening. Clearly, Lawson doesn't work in that car. Hadjar putting in there is too big of a risk. Tsunoda's doing all right. He's doing all right, which I think in the grand scheme of things is actually really good, if that makes sense, given how hard that car is to drive. The fact that I expect him now to be semi-regular, at least in the points. I think if he doesn't crash out, he's going to be in the top 10 most weekends, I'd say. I think that's progress. As terrible as that might sound, I think that is genuine progress. Not for Tsunoda, but for the second Red Bull seat, because I feel like saying for Red Bull is a bit unfair, because Max Verstappen just too good in that car, man. He's got, I don't know what he's got. He's got some option 13 cheat code thing. If anybody gets that reference, yeah, comment below to tell me what I'm referring to there. Yeah, if you've got some sort of cheat code thing going on with that. And by the way, I am not saying that Red Bull are giving Tsunoda a worse car before anybody even suggests that. I am not hinting at that. I just think it's very difficult for anybody not called Maximiliano Verstappenino to call it that. I mean, Verstappen, you know, Kelly Piquet is Brazilian. You know, if he wants to go for a Brazilian name, Verstappinho, maybe that'll be maybe that's what the kid will be called. Right, but for more news and stories and weird opinions on the world of Formula One, do keep it tuned here to the channel, guys. Have a fantastic day wherever you are. Hope you had a great Easter weekend. Hope you enjoyed watching the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Little break now to Miami, so let's get through some cool stuff. I've got some cool videos coming your way as well. I'm going to be analysing the rookies, all 5 of them. I'm not counting Lawson. Maybe I'll put Lawson in there too, but I'm definitely going to do the main 5 and tell us the 5 things that we learned about their careers so far, them as racing drivers in Formula One. I've got some interesting opinions on them. Stay tuned for that.